Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Shweta Walke, Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting, and I welcome you all to 117th meeting of Speaker Squad Toastmasters Club. Before we start the meeting, I would like to lay out three basic ground rules. First, keep your phones on silent mode. Second, be on camera as much as possible. Third, avoid talking about sex, religion, and politics. As everyone in their life have a mission to accomplish their goals, we at Toastmasters Club also have a mission. Mission of our club is to provide mutually supportive and positive learning experience to all the members in which they have opportunity to develop their leadership and communication skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, to start our meeting, I would like to invite the presiding officer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Richard.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheta. A very, very warm warning to each and every one of you. It's good to see many of them joining in because I think it's been a week where many have fallen sick. So let's hope they recover soon. Apart from that, we gather here each week to work on ourselves to be better speakers, listeners, and leaders. So, Toastmaster International's mission is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Without any further ado, let me call this meeting to order. So, today's thought, so I was reading this thought from a book. It said, long time ago, once a man went to a saint and asked, how can I be happy? And hearing this, the saint asked him to walk along with him in the forest. So the man agreed. They both started walking towards the forest. And when they were in the forest, the saint asked the man to pick up a stone that was lying on the ground. And the man is still holding the stone. After walking for a while, the man said to the saint, my hand is hurting. And the saint said, oh, then you should put down the stone. So as soon as the saint said this, the man dropped the stone and felt relieved. They both started walking again. After a while, the saint asked, how are you feeling now? And the man replied, I am happy after throwing the stone which was in my hand. I am not feeling that much in pain in my hand. I feel much better. At this point, the saint said, this is the secret to happiness. This way you can live happily. The man was confused and asked, I don't understand. People lift, so the saint said, people lift so many stones in their life and keep on walking with them. How can they be happy if they keep on walking with so many stones? Therefore, if you want to be happy, then you have to throw away such stones which give you pain. The moral of the story is in order to be happy, one must let go of the burdens, pains that they carry in their life. With that, let me see if we have any guests today. We have Abhinay. We introduced Abhinay last time, if I'm not wrong, Abhinay.
Yes, right. I guess.
Good morning, Abhinay. How are you doing
Hey,
today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thanks for asking. And good morning to all.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhinay. Very good morning to you as well. Do we have any other guests? No. Okay. With that being said, I have few announcements to make. Number one, thank you to all who have filled out the moments of truth form. If you haven't filled it out, please fill it out and so that I can submit it by tomorrow end of day. Number two, thank you all for making the contribution of 450 rupees. And if you still haven't made it, if you have some time during the weekend, please do make it and keep us posted. Number three, there will be a club contest between 15th September to 15th October. Club contest is for table topics and evaluation. It is a club contest, which means only the club members of speaker squad will be taking part. There will be no criteria for this. What I mean by criteria is you shouldn't have completed a level 1, level 2, level 3, nothing of that sort. You can go ahead and be this date. So we will keep you posted. Meanwhile, the reason I'm telling you this is giving you a heads up. There in the group description, there are templates to understand how you can participate in evaluation table topics. Table topics is the easiest. There is a folder created for table topics. There are 7 different ways to answer a table topic with examples given there. Plus, I think we have 200 questions also there for you to practice table topics. Prepare yourself. I want maximum participation from the club. Last announcement. We are planning a 125th meeting, which falls on November 4th. And I did speak to the committee members and they said it falls during the Diwali week. So we thought we will push it to November 18th. And we are planning to organize this meeting offline and meet in person. So this is not decided yet, but this is the plan. So I want to give all the members the heads up so that everybody turns up there. It wouldn't be a great meeting if only 5 or 8 members turn up and only the required number of roles are being taken. The meeting is eventful if all the members come there, we meet there. And my idea is after our meeting, go have lunch together. So this is the plan, which is still in November, I'm sure, but still I want to give you all a heads up that this is in the pipeline so that we can all meet and greet together. With that, let me introduce our Toastmaster of the day. She is a firm believer in the quote, one should never stop learning because life never stops teaching. She's been part of Toastmasters since February this year and is always looking for new ways to improve her communication skills. She is also a keen outdoors woman and loves spending time hiking and biking. Please welcome Sheetal with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richard. Yeah. So when I was in school, a class was divided into 2 groups. One was a smaller group, which belonged to the smarter kids. And the other one was a bigger group. I was part of the group. Any suggestions? What should we name it?
Group Bhima.
What is that?
Group Bhima.
Bhima. Okay. Okay. I was thinking about something like dull, dumb. No, doesn't sound right even now. So let's call it the not so smart group. So the critical tasks in the class, like erasing the blackboard, writing the date on it, and basically carrying the books right from the staff room to the class, distributing it to everybody there, and sometimes even writing the answers on the blackboard from teachers' notes for us to copy was the responsibility of this group, the smarter group. It was fixed. What do you think would be the criteria? Like where an individual would fall in? What would be the criteria?
I think whoever studying well, I think they were maybe part of smarter group, and that is the dumb task they should do. That's what I felt.
So we are calling it the not so smart group. Okay. Yes, that's right. It was marks. The marks we scored in the tests and exam that defined which group we fell into. And this group was fixed. I hardly recollect anybody transitioning from the bigger group to the smaller group. During the assemblies, I would literally pray to God that the specific teacher be absent so that I don't get punished during the class for not doing the homework. I did not enjoy learning. It was like a punishment sitting in the class. because I did not understand what was being taught, especially the English grammar class. It was so complicated that I just wanted to run away, far, far, far away from it. This was the case when I was in primary school. This was till my 7th grade. The high school for it was a bit far. My father wanted to enroll me to another school, which was at a walking distance from home. It was a good one. But my volleyball career was at risk. So I protested. I fought against it. But I lost. I lost to my father, and I did not have any other option but to go ahead and join the school. When I joined the school, things started changing a bit for me. I started understanding what was being taught in the school. I was able to now follow. I did my homework also on time. How did this happen? It was just magic. Yes, I realized this was the magic of the teachers there. Basically, the way they taught English, it was like a story. Who does not love stories? History was so interesting and interactive, it became my favorite subject in the high school. For math and science, the entire class was divided into groups of two, pairs basically, where each one would be responsible for the other for correcting their homework, assignments, and surprise tests that were given in the class. It was very, very powerful. There was no more a smart group and not so smart group. Each and every individual was given the importance. When they shared the report with the class as well as the teacher, everybody paid attention to them. This kind of instilled a competitiveness in all of us, and it motivated us to do better, at least than our group partner. So I cannot thank enough my teachers, my sister Ivila, Philomena, sister Flavie, TMS sir, and Lakshmi Narayan sir. They made me believe I could do good in academics as well. That was the power of teachers there. They believed that the capabilities could be built over time in all the children, basically. They exhibited the growth mindset. Having said this, let me take a pause on the theme and go to today's agenda. So today the meeting is divided into 3 sections. The first is the prepared speech section, where speakers deliver speech from their pathway projects. Second is the table topic speech section, which challenges us to think on our feet. And this is driven by the table topic master. The last but not the least is the evaluation or the feedback section, where the general evaluator and team provides feedback to everybody who speaks through the meeting. Our general evaluator for today is a keen listener and always has a beautiful smile on her face. She's a native of Delhi, born in Calcutta and brought up in Vizag. Currently an AVP with Citibank, and her hobbies include gardening and listening to music. Do your best and leave the rest is a favorite quote. Please welcome Toastmaster Ritika. Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sheetal. Good morning, everybody. Today, I'm playing the role of a general evaluator. What does a general evaluator do? We holistically evaluate the entire session. We start our evaluation even before the session starts. Along with me, I have a tag team as well to further evaluate the entire session and maintain the quality of all our club sessions. So without further ado, let me welcome the timer for today, one of the newest members of the club, but I see this member quite active and quite bubbly in the group as well. So let's welcome Toastmaster Madhusmita, the timer for today. Over to you, Madhusmita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So I'll be playing the role of timer today. As a timer, I would remind you the time left in your speech. So I will show, for example, for icebreaker speech, the time limit is 5 to 6 minutes. So at end of 5 minutes, I will show the green card. End of 5 minutes, 30 seconds, I will show you yellow card. And end of 6 minutes, I will show you the red card. Similarly, for table topics, I will show the green card at the end of 1 minute, yellow card at the end of 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at the end of 2 minutes. For evaluations, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card at the end of 2 minutes, the yellow card at the end of 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at the end of 3 minutes. So these are basically the guidelines for timing your speech. Hope all of you give your best and rock on. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhusmita. Do you want to show a demo of how you will be showing up the timer cards? Is it going to be virtual background?
Okay, so I was not prepared for virtual background. I'm not quite comfortable in Teams. So I'll show these cards like this.
Okay, sure. That works. So speakers, please remember to pin the timer if you want to, and keep an eye on the timer. And another correction for the prepared speeches, it's 5 to 7 minutes, not 6 minutes. So green card at the end of 5 minutes, yellow card at the end of 6 minutes, red card at the end of 7 minutes. Okay. All right, moving on. We don't have an R counter, so all of you are exempted from the R counter role, but that doesn't mean that you end up with your R's and ums and all that, because we have sharp ears. So let's be mindful on our own this time and move on and welcome the grammarian for today, Toastmaster Himanshu. Over to you, Himanshu.
Hello, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, and as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is tenacity, which means the quality of being determined and persistent. An example of using this word is the preservation of the historic building is a testament to the community's tenacity in preserving its heritage. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Himanshu. Well, that's a tag team. And since the theme is about teachers, there is one quote that really stood out for me today. And that is, teaching is one profession that teaches all the other professions. Toastmasters is also one such platform. From here, we can branch out to any profession and utilize the learnings we gather in Toastmasters International. So with that, let's give it back to Toastmaster Sheetal to take the session forward, and I'll be back for the evaluation section with my report and the tag team when called upon. Back to you, Toastmaster Sheetal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Coming back to our theme. So even today, when I first think about my high school, the very first teacher that comes to my mind is Sister Ivila, because she shared a lot of interesting stories with us, and I love stories. So would anybody like to volunteer to share who's the first teacher that comes to your mind and the impact they would have had on you?
I can
Probably
go first.
I'll go, Sheetal. Okay, Himanshu,
Sure.
please.
I would say a Sanskrit teacher in class 5th. And so she was very friendly and she ignited the interest within me to learn the subject, which is usually difficult to understand. I used to go back after the class and learn different words for the same with the same meaning. And eventually I took up Sanskrit for my 10th as well, and I scored roughly 99 in the final exam. And I think the interest was ignited by the teacher in class 5th.
Thank you, Toastmaster Himanshu. I'm not sure if I missed the name. Did you share the name with us of your teacher?
Surprisingly, the name of the teacher was Sheetal.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Sheetal, I'll go next. I think this is slightly different from the conventional term of a teacher in a school. So I would categorize that as my mother, as the best teacher, as my first teacher, because that's where I have taught certain values of how to behave to a human. Because I always believe that no matter how much degrees you get, no matter how much marks you get, ultimately at the end of the day, you're going back to the soil. And it's very important for you to actually imbibe and always carry forward the values as a human till the end of your life. So that way, my mother was my best teacher. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Krishnadas. Okay, let's move forward now for our prepared speech section. Our first speaker for today is being evaluated by a fitness enthusiast, a caring son, and someone who enjoys critical feedback. I request the evaluator, Toastmaster Richard, to set the objective for the first speaker. Toastmaster Richard, you're speaking on mute.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Sheetal. Today, Krishnadas is giving his first speech, icebreaker speech, which will be between 4 to 6 minutes. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. So all the best, Toastmaster Krishnadas.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Oh, sorry, Sheetal, please go on. Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, Toastmaster Richard. Our first speaker is a HR consultant who hails from Cochin. He enjoys traveling, watching movies, and playing sports. His role model is Sachin Tendulkar, and his favorite quote is, "Everything happens for a reason." He's also a big fan of Robin Sharma's books. Please welcome Toastmaster Krishnadas. Toastmaster Krishnadas, get to know me, Toastmaster Krishnadas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheetal. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me narrate you a story. It all began when I was a 5-year-old. At that tender age, I struggled in my KG class, even labeled as a poor student who couldn't grasp anything. I was branded as a Dumbo. There was a moment that still stands out in my memory. A day when I was so frightened that I could not even answer a simple question from my teacher, leading to the laughter of the entire class. My mother was summoned at the end of that year, and it was decided that I should repeat my KG class for another year. But I didn't let this setback to define me. I summoned the courage to persevere, and the fire ignited within me. I faced all my fears, including my dread of mathematics. And eventually, I conquered them successfully by passing my 10th grade with distinction. The journey didn't stop there. I went on to pursue my mechanical engineering, further conquering the fear of mathematics. My journey continued. I pursued my MBA in the United Kingdom from one of the reputed universities, earning 3 additional diplomas and 7 certifications. These achievements helped me to establish myself as a solid human resource professional. For over the last 15 years, I had the privilege of working with some of the reputed brands across globe as an HR professional. My journey in HR has been fascinating, filled with challenges, transformations, and whatnot. Currently, I'm an independent consulting person, a professional who is doing independent transformational assignments for MSMEs and SMEs across India. But let me tell you something which goes beyond my professional accomplishments. I'm a lover of 2 things. One is travel, another one is emotions. You might wonder how these 2 can be connected. But for me, they are intricately intertwined. I find joy in small things. I was enjoying those fleeting moments that can light up the day. I can also be a bit of a softie, just like anyone else. But these days, I'm in control of my emotions. I'm committed to staying positive. And here is another interesting thing about me. I'm a people's person. I love understanding and connecting with people and being there for them. I also cherish my moments of solitude when I can reflect and work on enhancing myself. While I enjoy my personal and professional success, life has thrown a curveball in the form of a divorce. It was a tough period. I have been on a journey to find new ways to make my life meaningful since then. So, why am I sharing all these to you today? My dear fellow Toastmasters, life is a journey. We all are on different paths. My experiences have taught me to appreciate small joys, to embrace highs and lows, and to have faith in the greater plan. It is what keeps me going, even when the pressure is on. As I stand here today as a single individual, I am discovering new ways to make my life meaningful. And if there is one thing which I would like to leave you with, it is embrace your uniqueness. Find joy in little things and never lose faith in the journey. Life is an adventure, my dear friends, and we are all its travelers. This is Krishnadas for you, narrating his own life, plain and candid. Thank you for listening. And I hope my story is inspiring and keeping you to push forward, no matter what life throws in your way. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Krishnadas, for giving us an insight of your life. So talking about college, yes, you said you're from mechanical engineering background. I did ENC, but in the second semester, we studied graphics. Graphics was one of the language that we had. Venkana sir was assigned to teach us that, and it was the first time he was teaching that subject in his entire career. Our seniors had told us it's a very difficult and complicated subject. So we were all kind of really scared of it. But for us, it went completely different. It was the easiest subject for us. We did not have to do any night outs before the exam. We did not have to do any of the special preparations. The entire class passed graphics, and most of them scored above 90. This was the result of the sir's dedication, the passion, the energy, and the creativity that he brought into his teaching. So that was an unforgettable experience for me. Having said this, let's go to our next speech. Our next speaker for today is being evaluated by Toastmaster Ritika, who is also serving as our general evaluator for today. I request evaluator Toastmaster Ritika to set the objective for our second speaker.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sheetal. Good morning once again, and a very special one to Toastmaster Sandeep, whose speech I will be evaluating. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice being aware of his thoughts and feelings, as well as the impact of his responses on others. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share his experience completing the project. All the very best, Toastmaster Sandeep. Timer, please note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster Sheetal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Our second speaker for today, Toastmaster Sandeep, works as a senior manager at Morgan Stanley. He's a passionate coder and a fitness enthusiast. He enjoys adventurous sports and traveling in style. He spends quality time with his loved ones. Please welcome Toastmaster Sandeep. Toastmaster Sandeep.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheetal, and good morning, everyone. Hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, Toastmaster Sandeep, you are.
Thank you. How many of you here have played video games or love playing video games?
I
Nobody?
think I played one game in my bachelor's.
Nice. In the video game, you might have seen, right, when you're going in route, in the sense you're leveling up, you face challenges. When you go in the reverse direction, you don't face anything. Life is like that. Now to my next question. Give a raise of hands if you feel life is too easy with you and everything in life comes to you so easily. Like you just sit and like, everything is going so smooth. No, right? Because that is life. Life throws challenges. So that is what was happening with me. And I failed to understand this. During COVID, since my family was from a business background, we faced a lot of challenges. And most part of the financial responsibility of my family came to me. And I felt too burdened. And this did a lot of changes in my brain. I used to be a guy who used to have a lot of positive things, and things were not so difficult. Suddenly it felt like 4 or 5 times difficulty came. So what I did, my attitude towards life changed. And whenever I used to meet my friends and family members, the first thing used to come was, bro, do you know how difficult my life is? Do you know what happened in my job? Do you know how things are so bad in my life? That non-stop criticism, complaining of life continued. Over time, my friends and family members started distancing away from me. They were like, boss, you stay where you are. I am happy here. Because when I communicate with you, I feel that life may only things are bad. They started happening. That made me even feel bad. Then what I did, this is something which I should have done earlier. I reached out to my mentor, and my mentor said, speak freely for how much ever long you want. And I ranted for a couple of hours, totally unloaded my emotional burden which I had. Then he said, feel light? Yeah. I said, yes, I feel very light. Now, let's come to the solution part. He suggested few things and expected me to do it. But what I did, I didn't do it. I went back in the same route. After 3 months, I went to him again, the same rant session. I repeated this again after 2 months. This time he had it. He was like, Sandeep, either you solve, you change your life, or you continue the same path, but don't come to me for this. I have had it. For me, he was the last ray of hope. I said, okay, let me implement the solutions or suggestions, what he had provided. What is the first suggestion? Whenever something happens in life, instead of reacting, think, did my current mindset and my current thoughts attracted it to me? If yes, instead of worrying and ranting about it, start looking for solutions. Make a list of whatever implementable solutions you have. I did that. That helped me focus on implementing solutions rather than worrying about it. Next thing, in life, if you're en route towards success, you're bound to have failures, because any successful person or anybody looking for success, they get failures, because without failures there is no success. Third, always have positive affirmations, as that's the only thing that is in my control. Whatever happens outside, whatever the opposite person thinks about me, that is not in my control. I can't do anything about it. Today, when I'm delivering this speech, some people feel it bad, some people feel it good. It's not in my control. My part is to deliver the speech better. That's the only thing is in my control. I started having this perspective in life. This helped me look at the life in a better way. Did it change my life? Wow, a rainbow came in front of me. A light from the sky fell on me. Did it happen like that? No. But my mindset changed. And as successful people tell, good things have a compounding effect. This compounding effect of positivity helped me achieve different levels in life. May it be in a professionally, may it be in Toastmasters, or may it be in personal life. Last 2.5 years changed a whole perspective in life. This helped me grow, and the more challenges I faced, the better my life was. I would like to end with a quote. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. With that, I would like to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. It was a very beautiful thought, being better what we can control rather than worrying about what we don't have control over. Thank you. So moving to our second section. Okay, before that, let me say this. When I came to Bangalore after doing my engineering, I enrolled in one of the institutes called Uttara for learning the programming language C. MLH Shastri sir was the backbone of the institute, and he had designed the entire course. He had built so many careers, thousands. He has built careers for thousands of people with his vast knowledge of C and sharp communication focus. And one of them was mine. I will always be thankful to him. So with this, let's move on to our second section. To provide us with the challenge for today's table topic round, we have Table Topics Master, who is going to conduct the session for us. Our TTM for today believes that the most important thing is to be happy and enjoy life. He's from Gwalior, a principal engineer by profession who likes to spend his free time cycling and doing personal finance. Please welcome Toastmaster Varun. Toastmaster Varun.
Thank you, Sheetal, for such a nice introduction. So as a Toastmaster, as a table topic master of the day, I'm here to help you guys to learn, to make you more comfortable with the extempore topics. So I will encourage each of you who have at least not participated so far to come forward and give the extempore. And there's a award or feedbacks will be given. So the minimum 1 minute is required to be part of the extempore. At 1 minute 30 seconds, it will be the green light, yellow light. At 2 minutes, it will be red. And at 2 minutes 20 seconds, it's when you are sort of disqualified. And I will encourage you guys to use the word of the day. So I will start with my topics. So you guys have to raise your hand and then I can give the topics.
Okay, let me.
Okay. So
Go on, Ashok, please.
Yeah. So maybe I'm going with Abhinav right now. So let's go by a systematic topic. What changes do you want in our Indian education systems?
Okay. Right. So the topic is what changes I believe should be there in the education system. Firstly, the education system so far we have been going through is to dump some of the learnings or some of the topics into our mind, and we we are actually learning these things from the books, from the different books, but our general thought process is still not improving a lot. We are becoming like a machines, like going in a race, like competing with each other. But our education system should make or should improve our individual skills. Every individual is actually different, and their skills are different, their thought process is different. So we should ideally improve each of the skills. The second, when we go on for a race, right, we are even for our engineering or after our graduations, we are actually seeking for the jobs, right? When we improve the individual skills, we will be able to generate the jobs. So that's the route. If you change the route, the actual it will go on to a different direction itself, and that's the change I would like to see in the education system. Thank you.
And thank you, Binav. It was a quite interesting insight to it. So going to the second, so he wants to be the second person to speak. Okay, Manshu. So question is like, should finance topics like tax planning, investment, and so be part of our school education rather than going for a inorganic chemistry, for example?
I love this question. It's a very thought-provoking one because eventually we talk about in our childhood three gods: Lakshmi, Saraswati. I forget the third name. Eventually, Lakshmi plays a most important role eventually in our lives compared to Saraswati, something that we value in the initial phase, but eventually start valuing in Lakshmi, and that education and the coming and going of wealth is dependent on lot on the prudence uh, um, that we learn over a period of time by making mistakes. If the number of mistakes can be reduced, then eventually a lot of people, more number of people can generate wealth, and they can come out of their poverty or bad decisions that have sometimes drastic impacts on their lives. So I do feel that some part of education system uh, if have a gradual develop a gradual understanding of how the money flow works, how the financial system works, and what is the role of each decision that you are making on the financial sides that's going to have a long term impact. One example could be just which type of investment are you doing, whether it is mutual fund, whether it is debt fund that you are taking, or is it we are buying stocks because somebody just said that this is going to go 10x, it is a rocket ship that you should just jump onto. So yes, I do agree that we should change our education system and make it more practical in nature. Thank you.
Thanks, Himanshu. And I agree that the education system will be more should be more balanced. So there should be a little of Lakshmi also in the education system, so that the like, especially for income tax is sort of something which is very much required in the system, but still it's not there. So going to the next topic, who wants to volunteer? Okay. Here is like failure is part of every journey. So for us in the school also we must have failed in the exams. I believe all of must have failed. So how did you handle that part with yourself, with your parents and others?
Whom you are asking? Is it me or is it someone else?
Ashok, yes. No,
Yeah,
it's you, Ashok.
thanks, Varun. I think I didn't see, calling any name, so that's what I got confused. Thanks. I think anybody, everybody face the failure before success. I think a lot of people iterated this. So you could have gone through a lot of failures, but which might not be failures. Say, you know, I have been going through education from 1 to 10th, and in 11th, my father decided to me to join IIT coaching center. Okay, but I studied complete my education till 10th in Telugu medium. So he was not aware of difference between Telugu medium and English medium, and he decided to me to join me in IIT coaching. So I tried at my best for 3 months to cope up with the English medium and IIT coaching. Okay, I know what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses. Say I was so strong in maths, irrespective of English medium or Telugu medium, it doesn't matter. You can get easily marks in maths if you are good at maths, right? But the other subjects which are difficult to understand in English medium, as media is matter to understand. So after 3 months, I decided, okay, let me go back to Telugu medium. Otherwise, it may lead me to wrong path. Since I was not able to understand anything in physics and chemistry till 3 months, so that might be called failure. Since I am coming back from the ID JOE coaching to again Telugu medium to study, intermediate, but I didn't have choice. So, but what I learned from that failure is what to study, how to study. Earlier, I was not so serious about study, even though I know I need education in my life to come out of farming. So once I joined the ADJ coaching, I have seen the people how are they reading, and what is the approach that we should do it. So earlier, I was playing cricket and kabaddi, coco, whatever, and ignoring all the studies. So once I joined the ADJ coaching, what I learned simply is how to study, what efforts you should put to improve yourself. So maybe that is failure, but I learned those things from there. So that I have used throughout my career to reach this level. After that, even completed my masters in the IIT JE, IITs. So that's how my failure take me to the success. Thanks so much. Over to you, Varun. It seems Varun is not available. Or...
No, I just got disconnected. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. So who wants to go for the next topic? It's a very interesting. Yeah. So the topic is if we can go back in that time, and it's a school time when you go back, and when you go and it's a declare unplanned holiday, it's a rainy day or something, and it's a holiday. So what you will be doing?
Varun, is it to me or
See who are the guys. So you guys, either of you can go first.
Yeah, Krishna, please take it over.
no? No, you please take it forward. I think you raised the hand first, so I'm pretty okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Varun, for the wonderful topic. You said if an announcement happened in unplanned vacation, this has happened with me, and this happened in a strangest time. All those who were bo- brought up or studied in Karnataka, you might have seen during the school days an incident happened when Dr. Rajkumar was kidnapped, and suddenly the schools were announced to be off. So that happened with me when we were writing a unit, means a test. I forgot the term also. Is unit test or what test? I was
Unit
writing a
test.
test. Yeah, we were suddenly told Dr. Rajkumar is kidnapped and our schools are announced to be off. That time, the first thing what we did is take up the bag, run, and go to means me and my friends. There used to be an apartment basement where we used to play cricket, and we played like crazy that day. Though it was a test, my parents were like, "Oh, it might open tomorrow, or it might school might open day after," but we didn't worry about it. Went, played cricket like crazy. So that, if I go back in time, that was one of the memories which I cherish a lot, playing cricket in the basement and in the gully. So yeah, that is my unplanned leave planning. Over to you, Toastmaster Varun.
Thank you. These unplanned leaves are like a gift to us always, and we all feel so happy that God has given those gifts to us. So going to the last topic, KD, can we go with you?
Yes, if there is nobody
Yeah.
else to raise the hand, I'm happy. Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah,
please.
last time you were there. So what is your favorite subject in the school or in the college, and why?
Actually, I would like to approach this question in a very lighter note. There is no favorite subject either in school or in college. So that's the actual fact. If you ask any of the average students who would be learning, or who students who is struggling, or students who is literally doesn't like to go to school, they will say, I don't like any subject, let me sit back at home. But there is one subject which I like, which is physical training. You know why? That is the hour which we will get to play cricket, football, and do all the mischievous thing. So summary of the story is, I love physical training hours, love to play, but hate all the subjects either in school or in colleges. But I have no other choice but to study, right? So eventually what happened is, physical training hours, which I like most, has taken the back seat, and I'm forced to like something else because I need to find a way of living. So that's the actual reality of the life. And thank you so much, Varun. I hope I touched upon the answer. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thanks, KD. I believe that all of us have said a very consistent answer that their life is more than what is taught in our education system as of now. So thanks for that, and over to you, Toastmaster Sheetal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varun, for such an interesting table topic session. So before handing over the session to Toastmaster Ritika, I wanted to share this information again regarding my professors. So generally in a class, which is of 40 minutes duration, right? Ideally. So most of the times I would visit the playgrounds, dining halls, movie theaters, and sometimes a different universe altogether. Yes, it was hard to maintain the focus. But recently I had this opportunity to do a small course at IMB. The class would start in the morning at 9 a.m. and end by 5 p.m. Of course, we would have a very short lunch and tea breaks. But during the session, I was there. I was 100% there. And I paid more than 200% attention to what was being taught in the class. Such was the magnitude of professors over there. I felt blessed sitting there and listening to the lectures of Padmini ma'am and Vasanti ma'am. The knowledge they have, the clarity in their thoughts and communications makes even a complicated subject like finance very simple and interesting. It was such an awesome and wonderful experience. Like, I want to do it more and more. Having said that, let's come to a lighter part, a bit lighter one. So, would any of you like to share any pranks that you would have done in the school with your teachers? Some naughty stuff. Any volunteers?
I can take this up, Sheetal. So, to those of you who do not know, I have played rugby for state and India as well. So, our playing days, we play with guys, right? So, every time when we finish a tournament or when we finish a big match where we have won, we always rag or pull our juniors or the people who have just played their very first match. And rugby is a hooligans game played by gentlemen, is what they say. And we always have guys from UK, France, Kenya, Uganda. So all places we have played with such guys. So they all come up with various rituals they have played in their own countries. So, fortunately or unfortunately, the kids, they get them drunk or they get them very high to an extent where they're not that high, but we also rag them. If we rag them to an extent where if they lose something or lose a game of poker, we make them shave their eyebrows. So this has happened to an extent, and it's a rugby game, right? So everybody can't be crying or whining about it. You just have to take it on your chin and go ahead. We have gone to an extent where it's a weird one, but we threw a challenge that if you lose this game of poker, you will shave your legs. So these are the weirdest pranks or challenges that we had after playing a match because we are so tired. It's a game of tackles where we go hit people, whoever has the ball in their hand. And after that, this is the only way where we have a laugh and enjoy. Nothing crazy though. Thank you, Sheetal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richard. Nothing crazy though. I'm not sure if I'm going to agree to it. Anybody else would like to go next? I don't see any hands.
Maybe I should have gone afterwards. I think my story has made everybody quieter now.
Yesterday I was talking to my husband and son. I was sharing this with them that tomorrow I'm going to talk about teachers. So I was asking them if they had done any pranks or any of their classmates had done during the school times. So my husband said this. So they were bored in the school. They did not want the classes to go on. They were really bored. And I think it was going to be a long holiday after that. So what they did was they locked the door from inside. The classroom, they just locked it from inside so that when the teacher came, they were not letting her come in. They were like showing that they were literally struggling to open the door and they could not. So she was talking to them through the window and they were showed as if they were literally struggling. So what happened after that, I don't want to share here, but yes, this was the funniest incident that I got from my family. So now anybody would like to go? Okay, so let's move on to the next session. Toastmaster Ritika, over to you for sharing the evaluations and feedbacks.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sheetal. Let's first give a big round of applause to our team mod for today. I think she's doing a brilliant job. So many stories, and I really marvel the kind of teachers and professors she's had during her school and college days. Really incredible stories there. Let's start the evaluation for today. To start with that, let's first call upon the speech evaluators. So Toastmaster Richard, please come up and present your evaluation for our first speaker, Toastmaster Krishnadas. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. Life is a journey. We all are on different paths. That is what I took away from that beautiful speech by Toastmaster Krishnadas. Congratulations, Krishnadas, on your first speech. The way you engaged the audience was truly commendable, from 5-year-old to KG class and being the Dumbo of the class. I was wondering why did you use the word Dumbo, and by then you mentioned you repeated a KG class. What was astonishing to hear from your first speech was the usage of words ranging from intricate, intertwined, fascinating, summoned, fire ignited. I mean, eye movement was spot on, and your hand gestures were different towards, and it transitioned very well as the speech went across. My suggestion to you, or what you may want to work upon, is your powerful opening and powerful closing. I want you to eliminate good morning, Toastmasters, and dear friends. Your first 30 to 60 seconds is where you grab people's attention. So do not waste on saying good morning, Toastmasters, or dear friends. You start by saying, in the year 1983 was the year I started my first KG class. I mean, you grab people's attention by that. You hook the audience. The second one is I have for you is the transition. I was following your speech, and you said from KG class you went to mechanical engineering. So you could have bought in somewhere about your 9th, 10th standard PUC class and then transitioned to mechanical engineering. So there, the huge gap from KG class to mechanical engineering, I lost. So that can be better. The transition can be better. And my challenge to you is before writing any speech or to anybody for this matter, your first question should be what is the takeaway for the audience? What is the audience going to take away from this speech? After you said life is a journey, we all are on different paths. After that, you still went on speaking. So I took that as the end, but after that, whatever you said, I lost it. So even when you take that as a quote, let's say life is a journey, we are all on different paths. Let's say that is your message. You have to stress on certain aspect. And if the quote is very small, harp on it again. What I mean by that is life is a journey. We're all on different paths. Let me repeat that again. Life is a journey. We are all on different paths. So that is how people will remember what you just said. And that is the takeaway for all the members within the club. Now, with that, the only person you should try to be better than is the person who you were yesterday. So I'm looking forward to hearing more speeches from you as you continue your Toastmaster journey. And remember to, important. With that, thank you, Toastmaster Krishnadas, and over to you, Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richard. That was a brilliant evaluation. Before moving forward, let us fulfill one ritual that we have in Toastmasters. And I know all of you, most of you must be knowing for every, yes, Richard has already stood up. For after every icebreaker, we give a standing ovation to the speaker. So I request everyone to please stand up and give Toastmaster Krishna Das a standing ovation for presenting his icebreaker. Well, so many goodies at Toastmasters, right? We earn a title, we get standing ovations. So yes, good for you, Toastmaster Krishna Das. I loved your icebreaker. And the best part was that you stood up and gave your speech. I don't know how you mustered that courage, but it really paid off. Your hand gestures, the confidence that was on your face, I think was because of the position you were in to deliver your icebreaker. Even your content was very well structured, and your emotions, your voice modulation, everything was so good. You are a confident speaker, so all the best for your future speeches as well. Toastmaster Richard, again, a very well structured evaluation. No specific recommendations to you, but just one suggestion, keep taking the evaluation road. I think you are good at that. Now, just excuse me for a minute. There's someone at the door. I'll just. Yep, sorry for that. Okay, moving on. Let me present myself for evaluating our second speaker, that is Toastmaster Sandeep. So good morning once again, and of course, a special one to the one who sees the brighter side of everything, Toastmaster Sandeep. Again, a very thought-provoking speech, I must say, and a topic which is so relatable, especially and also relatable to the theme that we have for today. There were a lot of plus points in your speech. The few were your, I think your forte is your pauses, the ability to bring the pauses at the right time, especially when you said that your mentor or your guide who said that, okay, do this, and come back. You came back and said, guess what? I did not do this as expected. The pause that you gave between the first and the second scene actually brought a smile in front of on the audience's face, because we knew what's coming up, that you haven't done the deed. You didn't have to say it. The pause actually was pun intended, and it worked. So I think your timely pauses is something which you can really use like you did today. The second one, of course, are your hand gestures. Though you are in a sitting position, you did not allow that to be a handicap to your speech. You used your hand gestures aptly. You tried to make a point very well with your hand gestures. So very well done there as well. A few recommendations for you, Toastmaster Sandeep. I did not hear your title anywhere during your entire speech. Seeing the bright side. Each time you spoke about a failure or a roadblock, I thought now is the time where you will use your title. But you came up with a different quote each time. So when we are trying to deliver a message, try to keep it maximum to 2, because a human mind cannot take in so many messages. We pick and choose then. Okay, this sounded better, that sounded easy. So your job as a public speaker is to give one message. Ensure that your audience takes the message you want to give them. So keep reiterating a title, because there is some thought gone behind the title. The second one would be more personal stories. The stories were vague. You were just about scratching the surface, but I want you to deep dive. Be more vulnerable. Let us go through your failures and how you saw the bright side and overcome it. Because we have all gone through failures. The problem is how to come out of them and convert them into success. So some personal stories, try to be more vulnerable. That's what I would suggest. Lastly, summarize your points. There were 3 points that you said in the beginning of your speech. Summarize it and reiterate it in your conclusion. So overall, pauses and your hand gestures are your strengths, Toastmaster Sandeep. Just work on increasing your vulnerability quotient in your speeches, reiterate your titles if required, and work on your conclusion. With that, I hand it back to the general evaluator, and that's me. To move forward, I would now like to request the tag team to present their report. I know Toastmaster Madhusmita has already pinged the timings in the chat, but Madhusmita, can you just tell us if there are any disqualifications in the session today?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. So yeah, for icebreaker speech, Toastmaster Krishnadas, you were within the time limit. You completed your speech within 5 minutes 3 seconds. That was awesome. And for Toastmaster Sandeep, you crossed the time limit. It was you completed your speech in 7 minutes 15 seconds. Coming to table topics, Toastmaster Abhinay, you took 1 minute 35 seconds. That's within the time limit. Toastmaster Himansu, you took 1 minute 45 seconds. Toastmaster Ashok, you took 3 minutes. That was beyond the time limit. Toastmaster Sandeep, you took 1 minute 30 seconds, and Toastmaster Krishna Das, you took 1 minute 5 seconds. Coming to evaluators, Toastmaster Richard, you took 3 minutes 20 seconds, and Toastmaster Ritika, you were within time limit. You completed your evaluations within 3 minutes. So that's the report from timer today. Thank you. Over
Thank
to
you
you,
so
Toastmaster
much.
Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhusmita. Point to note that after for the prepared speech after 7 minutes, for the evaluation after 3 minutes, and for the table topics after 2 minutes, 30 seconds buffer is given to all the speakers. So people who are up after 7 minutes and within 7 minutes 30 seconds are still qualified. And same goes for table topics also. If you have gone beyond 2 minutes but within 2 minutes 30 seconds, you are qualified. I'm reiterating this because the contests are coming in, so you are safe if you use the 30 seconds buffer. All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhusmita. And I like the way you proactively put the timings in the chat window. That really helps keeping time as well for the overall session. Moving on, let me quickly welcome Toastmaster Himanshu to present his grammarian report. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. I have a long list to cover. Hope I don't exceed the time. Okay. I didn't hear the word of the day spoken by anyone. So that the word was tenacity, wasn't used. In terms of grammatical usage and suggestions for improvements, I have a long list. So if the evaluator's evaluation is not correct, please correct me. One is, having said this should be having said that. For you know the timing, it should be for the timing. Enhancing myself should be enhancing my skills. Was the language we had should convert to studied the language. Might have seen right, that should be here. The right is an additional word. Might have seen that. When I was talking to friends, the first thing that came was, it should be first thing that we talked about. This time he had it. There's something wrong. I'm not sure what it should be. Doesn't sound right to me. Changed my life. Wow. It should be transformed my life, or there could be some other expressions around it. Who have not participate so far. So it should have been participated. When it comes to the quotes, thoughts, words, or sayings, so some of the quotes and words that I liked. Teaching is one profession that teaches all the other professions. Tender age, intertwined, embrace highs and lows. Life is an adventure, we are its travelers. Ranted, unloaded emotional burden. Positive affirmations. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts, you will get positive results. Yeah. Back to Toastmaster Ritika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Himanshu. Let's give a big round of applause to the tag team. I think the listening skills must have gone up a notch for both of you. Incredible job there. Now it's time for me to present my evaluation for individual role takers. Let me start with Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Shweta. I know she's not in the room, but I would also share it offline with her. So I was wanting more energy from the Sergeant at Arms, considering she's the face of the session. Starts off with her, and the energy, the vibe of the ongoing session actually depends on how it starts. So I would expect more energy from the Sergeant at Arms. And I think it's time that we start introducing the presiding officer and mark and also announce what role is that presiding officer holding in the XCOM. So for example, if you're handing over to Toastmaster Richard, so let me now hand it over to President Toastmaster Richard. Or if a VP Ed is the presiding officer, let me hand over to Toastmaster Ramesh, who is the VP Ed. So that way, the guests and the new members who have joined the club will know exactly what position that presiding officer holds in the XCOM. These are a few things that can polish our script, can polish the quality of our sessions as well. But otherwise, good job by Sergeant at Arms. She was well before time and she was ready to start the session on time. Kudos to that. Coming to our presiding officer, President Toastmaster Richard, I think this is something that is your signature style. You always start with a story. And that is something which I think we have got used to, and in some way or the other, we look forward to as well. So kudos to that. How you use the theme of the session and try and thread a story around it is really brilliant and helps set the context for the entire session. You also make it a point to pause and introduce the guests or wait for them to introduce themselves as well. So good job there. You presented your announcement straight away. So again, good job. You didn't wait for the entire session to end, because half the people then tend to leave or are in half their attention is diverted. So good, you went with the announcement straight away. One recommendation, you did not start the session with the gavel. I think you missed doing that. So try and remember to start the session. And so now is your time to make it a point to end the session also once your time comes towards the later. Yeah, you had the gavel, but you forgot to bang it. So yeah, something to remember. Yep. Otherwise, good job, Toastmaster Richard. Again, you are well before time and you make it a point to be there for the role takers and help them out with their AV check. So good job there. Moving on, what to say, Toastmaster Sheetal, you are a person with so many stories. Every time you take up a role, I think you do an incredible job, and the reason behind is your due diligence. You don't take any role lightly, whether it's a timer role, a tag role, a GE role as well for that matter. And today I was so happy to see you taking up the T mod role. Also, you know when to start and when to stop. So many times T mods just keep on talking about their stories and they forget that there are other things in the agenda as well. So that also shows how well prepared you are. You have a script and you stick to the script. Well done there. Two suggestions I have. One suggestion is, after every prepared speech, take 30 seconds to share your takeaways. That shows that you actually heard the speech. You need not hear it every word, but just pick up 2-3 things that struck a chord with you, because then the speaker feels that yes, someone heard my speech, because you are the one who he or she gives it back to. So few sentences to just give your takeaways. Second thing is, introduce the speakers. No, that's not all. You introduced, actually. I'm sorry. You introduced all the role takers, you introduce the speakers, you introduce the evaluators as well. And those introductions did not seem impromptu. They were again well prepared introductions. So good job there as well. Another recommendation I would say is history of Toastmasters. Try and invite that in your script in the beginning itself, so that the new members are well versed with the number of clubs we have across how many countries. Just a few tidbits about Toastmasters actually helps out. So very well done. Otherwise, Toastmaster Sheetal, these are just a few things that will brush up your script as well. Moving on, table topic master, Toastmaster Varun. Excellent topics, I must say, thought-provoking. They were not those easy ones that, okay, fine, Teacher's Day, your favorite teacher. You actually went into the deep dived into very adult topics. We are adults here. How about finance? You actually challenged our intellect as well, and that's what is incredible. You also introduced the section. You called out that, okay, the non-participants, now is the time to participate. These are the few nudges that the table topic master should give, and you did that. Just one recommendation, give your takeaways as well. Once the speech is done, thank the speaker for coming up and then give your recommendations. That really motivates the speakers. Second one is, when you choose your volunteer, call out the name that, all right, Toastmaster Sheetal, topic, Toastmaster Sheetal. So Sheetal knows she is a volunteer and the topic is repeated twice. All right, so let's practice that. Otherwise, very well done, Toastmaster Varun. Speeches, both the speeches were incredible. I've already shared my evaluation for them. Both the evaluations were good. Good job, Richard. Good job, Ritika. I'm happy with both the evaluations. Overall, I must say the quality of Speaker Squad sessions is improving with every week. Very well done. And that goes on to show how much time is invested by the ExCom, by the members, to ensure you all do a good job. The documentations are there. The prep work is there. The role takers come well before time. They are ready with their AV checks. These are the background things, actually are a reflection of how well prepared and how beautiful you all look during the session. So good job. I would always keep encouraging all of you, take up roles. The minute the template is issued, take it up. And then see how, and that will give you a lot of time to prep. With that is my overall recommendation. Excellent session today. I really had a good time. With that, I wrap up my evaluation and give it back to Toastmaster Sheetal. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika, for the detailed evaluation. Thanks a lot for the feedback as well. So my final thought before I hand over the session to Toastmaster Richard. So teachers, they play a major role in our lives. Okay, teachers, it's a role, it's a responsibility where each one of us would have played it in different phases of our lives. sometimes even both, right? Being a teacher as well as a student, where you're guiding somebody, you're influencing someone, etc. So teachers are powerful tools who shape one's lives. With this, I hand over the session to PO Toastmaster Richard.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheetal. I must commend Sheetal. You must have been a very good, diligent student. The reason I say this is one thing that I noticed is because you remember each and every teacher's name. And sometimes I look back and understand I remember that teacher, but what is her or his name? And something it's you must have a good memory power, and you must have been a very brilliant student who loved each and every teacher. So can we have a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Sheetal? I am sharing the voting link. Please go ahead and vote for the best roles. Let me wait as you vote. Meanwhile, Krishnadas has already nominated himself for next week's role as a table topics master. So thank you, Krishnadas, for being very proactive. Two responses have come in. Good job. Three. Let me wait for a few more. Four. Five. How many do we have in? Okay. The best role taker, I don't think I have to even say it, but I'll say it. It's Toastmaster Sheetal. So good job, Toastmaster Sheetal. Best auxiliary role taker. Job, Himanshu. Best speaker, there is a tie. So 50-50, Krishnadas and Toastmaster Sandeep. Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Ritika. And the best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Krishnadas. So good job, all of you. With that, I have a closing thought. Aristotle said this: those who know do, those that understand teach. Let me reiterate that again. Those who know do, those that understand teach. Thank you everyone for participating, and to all the fellow Toastmasters and guests, we hope you'll attend our next meeting, which will be at the same time next week. So please put away your chairs. Have a great weekend. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.